Do you know Hajj, the Islamic pilgrimage, is mentioned and praised in the Bible, contrary to what Christian missionaries slanders?
What is the Hajj?
Well, that's the pilgrimage that you must perform in Mecca, where you visit the Kaaba and perform the rites associated with the Kaaba, such as
So
running
did
between...
Muslims invent this?
No.
Okay.
They'll even admit to you that these were practices observed by the pagans before Muhammad. But their justification for it is, but Ishmael settled there.
We have any records of Ishmael being there?
None whatsoever.
Have any records of Abraham having
Never.
anything to do with this?
None whatsoever.
Okay.
But we do have admission from Muslim sources the pagans were doing it.
Okay.
So at least they admit that part. And so what Muhammad did was he repackaged these pagan rituals in a monotheistic context. In fact, I encourage all Muslims to get a copy of the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation of the Quran with the commentary and read throughout chapter 2 of the Quran and see his commentary where he basically admits that Islam spiritualized these practices that the pagans were actually observing. So he has to admit these are pagan practices, but Muhammad supposedly purified them and spiritualized them and restored them to their true meaning.
So the pagans are taking a trip to Mecca. The pagans are walking circles around this building.
For their 7 planetary deities, by the way.
The pagans are kissing this rock. The pagans are doing are saying their prayers, bowing down to this building. The pagans are throwing this down. We're going to do all of that, but we're going to do it for Allah, and that makes us not pagans, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so what we see here is Islam doesn't come and say, hey, stop these pagan practices. Islam comes along and says, we're going to adopt all of these pagan practices.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Asad, one of the researchers and member for the Thinking Tube for Crucial People. I am here to share some of my research work and discoveries with you all. Is the Islamic pilgrimage Hajj mentioned and praised in the Bible? Yes. In the book of Psalm, chapter 84, verses 4 to 7, it says, "Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will be still praising thee. Blessed is the man whose strength is in thee, in whose heart are the ways of them, who passing through the valley of Bakkah make it a well. The rain also filleth the pools. They go from strength to strength. Every one of them in Zion appeareth before God." In these verses, we are learning about the blessed people, pilgrims whose strength was God, who used to perform pilgrimage in the valley of Bakkah, visiting the house of God, praising God. Now where is this place Bakkah? And where is the house of God? Let's take a look at the exegesis. Bakkah is probably a large shrub which the Arabs still call Bakkah. So Bakkah is a valley in Arabia where people went for pilgrimage to visit the house of God. Is there any such place in Arabia with the exact same name, a house of God, situated in a valley? Yes, it is in Makkah. Bakkah refers to Kaaba, Baitullah, the house of the god, and the sacred site immediately surrounding it, situated in the valley, while Makkah is the name of the city in which they are both located. Historically, Kaaba had only 4 walls, did not have any ceiling or roof, therefore used to collect rainwater like a cistern. The city Makkah, the holy site of Bakkah, and Kaaba, Baitullah, the house of the god, is precisely mentioned in the Quran, and its geographical location is evident. Historically, from the time of Prophet Ibrahim, peace be upon him, up until 500 years before the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, there was no polytheistic rituals or idolatry in the pilgrimage of Hajj at Bakkah. Polytheism, idolatry, and superstitious beliefs were introduced and innovated into the holy pilgrimage of Hajj only 500 years before the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by some influential Makkans who witnessed polytheism and idolatry in foreign land and were highly influenced by it. The Bible itself is evidence for the purity and holiness of the Hajj pilgrimage at Bakkah. The book of David is testifying that. Would the book of David have praised called blessed, and testify the strength of these pilgrims to be God. If these pilgrims were practicing polytheism and idolatry? No. Allah, the one true God, eradicated all polytheism, idolatry, restored the purity and holiness of pilgrimage at Makkah by his last prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Allah, the one true God, stated in the Quran, chapter 3, verse 96, the first house of worship appointed for man was that at Makkah, full of blessing and of guidance for all kinds of beings.